Yuval, if you wanted to kick off and just give us a bit of background on the technology and
yeah
it's relevant.
So good. So yeah, so WSC is the WSC Sport Platform is the company itself is a few years back, and what it does, the platform is automatically tagging and indexing live sports events, and they happen. And they're actually tagging every single event, every important event that happens within the game. And this allows the system to create automatically short form highlights for every play or every action within the game. We're currently working with almost 200 customers around the world. And by referring to customers, it's almost every right holder, global right holder, starting with the leagues for the likes of the NBA, the NFL, Bundesliga, media outlets like ESPN or YouTube TV or Amazon, and federations like UEFA and FIFA. So we are working with all the sport holders or sport ecosystem worldwide, providing them our solutions by covering also covering almost 20 different sports. So this enables us to do what we do, the automatic tagging and indexing of almost every single or every important sport out there.
Okay, so we're talking about shorter form video content
Exactly.
in the form of sort of notifications, but
no, not only notification. It's if you take as an example, if you take an NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we take a single NBA game,
mm-hmm.
and out of this game, we are actually creating automatically 200, 300 different highlights of this specific game,
mm-hmm.
based on the preferences of the broadcaster in this case. So if there's an UK broadcaster who wants to have 2 minutes with just dunks, then he will have this one, and someone else wants only have three pointers. And our system actually creates those highlights. So we are creating the highlights. So it can be a highlight, it can be a condensed version, or it can be just the event itself, which is what we actually do and what we provide for the live notification.
So as this is going along, a game is in progress and you're tagging these events. Can this be packaged up and delivered live, or is this something that happens so it's sort of determined as the game goes along and then it happens after the game?
No, it's working. It's live. It's what we call near live. It's about let's say a minute afterwards. It's already there. Yeah. So if there's a game, there's a football game, and we will talk in a minute about the what we do, the live notification, the live video notification that we do with Sportradar. So when there is an event in the game, for example, a goal, we are able to push a video into the end user phone in almost live, in about a minute delay, but it's a near live ability to send the video of that highlight. So it's within the game itself. It is supporting obviously the increase of live betting, and we are addressing the live betting world, doing this in live action.
If I ask you to just talk a little bit about the live video notifications for you're doing for Sportradar, if you can, and then I'll bring in Patrick as well to see sort of why it appeals to them as well. So we start with you, Yuval.
Yeah. So with live video notification, we are able to trigger and engage bookmaker active users and inactive users by notifying them and triggering them with events in real time relevant to their interest. So if I'm interested in the Bundesliga, or specifically I'm interested only in Bayern Munich and Dortmund, I'll be able to get a video notification of any goal that happens within this weekend of either Bayern Munich or Dortmund. So what happens? The scenario is I will get a push notification into my phone saying Lewandowski just scored. Bayern Munich is now 1-0. And when I'll click on that, I will see a short video with the goal that Lewandowski just scored. And when I will see this video, this will trigger the additional bet. For example, is there's going to be another goal within the game or another goal within the half? And when I will click a click to action, this will take me into the bookmaker specific market or specific page. So together with Sportradar, we are creating for the bookmaker another and a very important marketing tool that in real time he can notify and create engagement for his users.
Okay, and then Patrick, if you can just talk a bit about it from the Sportradar perspective.
Yeah, of course. I think maybe, and it's probably not too different to what Yuval said just now, but I think from a Sportradar perspective, obviously what we care most about is how we can add value to our customers on top of what we already have in terms of streaming. So obviously, yes, we have live streaming in terms of both really premium content, but then also from a volume perspective. With this, the retention aspect plays quite an important role here. So how we can help the operator to constantly bring back the users into the respective apps to then obviously trigger the next action, trigger the next bet being placed. And here, I think we already see now, based on some early feedback and some early experience, that clearly the push notification itself, but also the short form content is a very good way to do that, because it's easy to consume. It's not too much in terms of a time invest, because as we all know, we are kind of competing against a relatively short audience span. And I think here it's exactly this spot where we're trying to chime in from a value proposition point of view to offer to our customers a tool in the end, and also content that allows them to reconnect with their customers on a more regular way.
I wanted to ask both of you about the streaming. So you mentioned streaming. What I wanted to ask is how you think it sort of runs as a complementary addition to the streaming. Does it not in some way take away from the need to actually watch a stream? I'm not implying that it's a negative thing, but in terms of how they sit alongside each other, does one take away from the other? Is one helpful to the other?
Yeah, this is clearly the way how we see it. So we clearly see it as a kind of complementary product offering. Also deriving from the stats and the analytics we have on this. Obviously, there's a specific user behavior attached to watching live streams on betting operators' website, and there's also specific. If you compare it, there's also two different types of behavior if you consume video content on an OTT platform versus on a betting operator's website. And then again, if we go to the short form content, it probably is again a little bit different, because and that's also the reason why I think we've seen it's quite appealing to our customers. It's because it gives them the opportunity to maybe connect again with a different customer segment, because this customer segment that watches live streams on betting operators' websites is probably also a little bit different to those that get attracted by this type of push notification or highlight. And don't know, maybe Yuval can also give a little bit context on this from an operator point of view.
Yeah, it's. I think that's. I definitely do not see it as competing products. They are either complementary or addressing two different segments. But at the end of the day, every single, put aside betting, every single content site, sport content site these days is all about video. And we ask ourselves why betting should be any different. So same as in content site, that you can either see the full game or just a short form or highlights. Same goes with betting. We are enabling, together with Sportradar, we are enabling both options. And one of the things that the short video that we do with the live video notification it's also it's also addressing the attention of the users. Think about, take for example, users that betting a bookmaker customer that sits on a Saturday afternoon in the UK, and there are currently, I don't know, 5, 6, 10, 20 different football games happening around Europe, and he doesn't really know what happens in another game. All of a sudden, he gets this push notification with a video of a goal, and what happened is that most likely he will say, okay, something happening is on that game. I will go into the website, I will go into the bookmaker app and see the stream of that game. So we are working hand in hand. It addresses either the same scenario, two different scenarios, but it's definitely following the trend, or following what we are usually seeing in other sport content sites, which are not necessarily betting.
Would it be fair to say that the sort of already engaged punter is sort of maybe the one who might be watching a live stream, and then your sort of sleeping punter or someone you might want to reactivate, re-engage, is someone that really benefits from this service? Or is there more crossover than that?
I would say it's both description spinning. It's the recreational one who is not watching the stream and just getting the highlights, and the one who does see the streaming, but he can see a stream of a single game, and then he would get a notification or a goal notification of a different game that is currently streamed. So there are a variety of options, and I think that one of the advantages here is that that one is not contradicting the other, is that we are able to provide both.
And maybe just to add on this, I think from a marketing point of view, I think offering a video highlight to a user, to an end user, from a betting operator standpoint, is, I think, also a very rich way of addressing them. It's not just sending out the push notification saying come back to us, but it already delivers some kind of value with it. It gives them video content to look at. And I think this is probably also a little bit the perspective on it. I think we really want to help making this kind of way into re-engaging their user a little bit richer. And obviously, as we come with the video background, I think video is a very good way of doing that.
Oh, it's really interesting. I mean, if I think about when I think it might be most impactful, I'm thinking like a Saturday afternoon. If you're watching, say I could be watching Soccer Saturday, or I could be constantly checking an app to check the results from the Premier League. But if I'm getting video notifications with the highlights of the games, that's like a different dimension, isn't it?
It is what the Americans, if you've seen in the Americans, usually in the NFL broadcasts, they have what they call the red zone, which you are focusing on a single game, but then you get the highlights from all the games which are currently going in parallel. So we are actually providing the exact same scenario, that you can focus on a single game, but you are aware, you are familiar with what's going on in the other games. And again, and one important factor here is the personalization, because the WSC system is an automatic system. We can do the segmentation. It works based on scale. So if I'm a bookmaker and I have a few tens or thousands of users, but each one has its favorite team, favorite player, favorite game, we can send every single a different event within the game. So for one segment, it will be all about goals. The second segment, it will be all about red cards. This is what the system does. This is the WSC system. So the marketing team can prepare in advance during the week, but then once the game starts, it's a fully automated service.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the personalization. So assuming this is around the sort of how it gets delivered to the end user, but is this based on the sort of technology that understands their preferences, or is it preferences they can pick, a user might pick in terms of the videos they then receive?
Yeah, I think it's two levels that we should distinguish here. The one is the level of the push notification itself. You might notice from your own user behavior if you have an app with push notifications, you can typically configure, at least if it's a more mature app, you have some options to configure the amount of push notifications you want to receive, maybe also the topics you want to receive those push notifications on, probably based on sports or teams or clubs or whatever. So I think from a marketing standpoint, on the push notification level, there's an element of personalization, and then obviously on the content side. So for me, this is the second category. We are then again offering a personalization element when it comes to which type of content is being offered. So obviously there's, and here again, there's a difference in sports. Obviously for a football game, there's other key actions relevant than for a tennis game versus a basketball game. And this is clearly also where we are benefiting from the expertise of WSC, because they are the leader in exactly knowing what are the key moments in these sports and how to cut them in the most automated way to allow the users to benefit from it. And this is a little bit the kind of two segments we're bringing together there.
Just from the perspective of the bookmaker, what we provide as WSC is a system that it's a fully configurable. So if the bookmaker has sophisticated segmentation with his users, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. So we are enabling. We do not have the data information, obviously, the customer data information, but the bookmaker does. But we are enabling him to take the system, to take the automatic service, and do it as the best he can, or the best he think he can do with it.
I think you mentioned earlier, Yuval, that there was 20 sports. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe don't have to list them all, but what are sort of the key ones that we should be aware of?
It's football, basketball, tennis, golf, horse racing, ice hockey, NASCAR, volleyball. So pretty much all of it. But together with Sportradar, we are focusing, but we are assuming that we will be focusing on, or the bookmaker itself will be focusing on sports which are very relevant for live betting, which is usually football, tennis, and basketball. So we are assuming that those three will be the leading sports. However, if you have bookmakers who are interested in, I don't know, as an example, golf or ice hockey, we can obviously support that as well.
And just in terms of how sort of deep this partnership is, if you're talking about the sports that you want to add to this, is this around the rights that Sportradar has in sports, or does it come that you pick your sports? You know, what comes first, the sports or the rights that you have?
I might pick this. It's clearly obviously following also the rights catalog that we are already now offering to the operators. So for example, in football, clearly our most premium right is the DFL, the German Bundesliga. So here, this is obviously where soon you'll see first products and first approaches from us. I'm sure you're aware that we kind of, I think, just announced the NHL partnership. So I guess also this will be quite an interesting one in both directions, domestically as well as internationally. And then obviously for the basketball view, also thinking about the recent acquisition we made with Synergy. Also here, I think there's a lot of opportunities in the basketball space. But to answer your question clearly, it follows our rights catalog, and it is then also a kind of consultation we do with the rights holders, how this then also fits into their product and into the rights we are partnering up with the specific rights holders to then offer it onto the bookmakers.
Yeah, I suppose my question was, say you've got the rights to the hockey, do you then say to WSC, we've got the rights to hockey, we want a product, the product to enable the notifications for this sport, or is it a case of they have a catalog of sports and you say I want them ones because we've got the rights? If I'm making sense.
At the moment, it's more the first option. But I also, with the success of the product, I also would not rule out the latter one. So obviously, at the moment, the short form content product, the video notification product, is a complementary product in a lot of cases. But I mean, with all those trends described at the beginning, users consuming not full games probably, and also short attention spans and so on and so forth. This is also clearly something we're targeting, and why this is even more relevant in the future.
And then just a final question for both you, really, on where the partnership goes from here. Just a question about, are there any sort of other products that you're working on together? What should we expect from the Sportradar WSC partnership this year, next year?
Maybe just starting on this, I think it's probably also good just to lay out what is already there. So I think there's already there quite a good amount of collaboration. So at the moment we have an active collaboration also in the what we at Sportradar call the data media space. So where we are working with the likes of NBA, MLB, and so on when it comes to their data for media, where we then bring this onto WSC Sports so that they can use this data for improved automation of the systems and automation of the highlights and of the content. So that's an existing area of collaboration. A second one has been also collaboration across the Google Stories, which you might know, which is, I think, also quite interesting and nice format. So Google Stories format, where again WSC's technology has been used, I think, at some point beginning of this year, and where then again our ads teams or the marketing services come into play to monetize on top of this video content that's created. And now obviously with this video push notification, it's just another product going in a very similar direction. I think the collab between WSC and us always makes a lot of sense when it comes to probably our understanding of the market and WSC's strength to maximize the engagement based on the content that we have. And I believe there's a lot more to do in the future.
If I may add, first of all, with regards to bookmakers, the live video notification is just a start, and we think that there's a wide array of opportunities to have more integrated video, short video solutions within the product itself. We are currently together in discussions with a variety of operators, talking to them, and we are assuming that some of the solutions will come up out of the bookmakers, and we already see it, and we are assuming that will happen. But we are looking to enrich the user journey, the overall user journey, and the overall user experience. We are looking to enrich it with video content within the product itself, within the app itself. So that's something that we are looking forward to do, which I think will be very important. And I just want to emphasize a bit more about what Patrick mentioned with regards to the stories. The stories is a new marketing methods that we are showing, that we are presenting, and we are creating in live the highlights of a game. So when you search a game, you see the highlights as within the Google search box, which is very attractive and very highly converting. And we are working together with the Sportradar marketing technology to enable it for advertisers. It can be either betting or not, but this is another scenario that we are using our technology for short clip video to enrich the betting or anything else. But if I'll again just to mention again in terms of the betting, in terms of the bookmakers, I think that, as I said at the beginning, every content site these days, every sport content site has video. We think and we believe that betting should be exactly the same. and that will be the way to attract new users. This will be the way to create a better user experience, a better user journey through video, and this is our objective, and this is our aim going forward.
Okay, just wanted to check that the live video notification service, that it is live now, it is operational.
Yes, it is operational. It is an operational that we are already offering it to bookmakers around the world.
Okay, and then just as a final question, can you share anything that you perhaps learned from sort of the initial rollout of this? Is there maybe anything that's caught you by surprise in terms of how people engage with it or how it's been picked up so far?
What I can share, Patrick, if that's okay, is one of the tests that we have done. I cannot share, unfortunately, any numbers, but I can say that what we received is that the engagement, the user engagement for event that was promoted by video increased by quite significantly, not quite, increased significantly, and then it was very highly positive, taken very well by the operator who tested it, and he wanted to increase into additional properties, additional sports, because of the very positive results that we've seen already within the test.
Yeah, maybe just to conclude, I mean, obviously one kind of thought we definitely have picked up from the operators was in terms of frequency of this notifications, of these push notifications being sent out, is clearly the concern, you know, that you hammer out something every second minute, which then leads probably to a little bit more end customer confusion, or being annoyed rather than something else. And I think this is also something where we actively consult with the operators, and then sport specifically decide how much push notification are ideal in a certain time span, just to make sure that what we do makes sense and delivers value, and obviously not the opposite by just over pushing with too much content. So that clearly is a fine line, and that is something we are addressing. And obviously on the other side, I think that's also something we kind of have learned is very important for the operators to make sure this thing is rightly put in place.
And if I may add, it's not something it's new to us. This is why we did this cooperation, is that, and I know it from my experience as well, is that one of the biggest barriers of bookmakers is technology resources, is development resources. And through this partnership with Sportradar, we are able to deliver an end-to-end solution, which requires very little work or hardly any development work from the bookmaker side. So a huge value here is that we can approach the bookmakers, and it doesn't need to do any investment, which is one of the biggest values of this partnership. Because knowing from my background and knowing from my experience, when I had a new technology approach to me, it always involved development work and development efforts, which was always a barrier because the roadmap is very long. And here we are overlapping this barrier by providing an end-to-end solution that doesn't require any additional work.